My cousin stole my wedding venue, so I gave her the wedding she deserved. My cousin Melissa has been competing with me since we could crawl. If I got a bike for Christmas, she needed a better one. If I made the honor roll, she had to be valedictorian. It was exhausting, but manageable. Until she crossed the line, nobody should cross. In college, I was applying into a prestigious internship at a fashion magazine. When Melissa found out, she suddenly discovered her passion for fashion and applied to the same program. She name-dropped our shared family connections and even used my portfolio ideas that I'd shown her at Thanksgiving. They only had one spot, and somehow, she got it over me while I got a rejection letter. Last year, I was promoted to creative director at my firm, a position I'd worked toward for 5 years. Melissa, who worked in accounting, suddenly applied to my company. During her interview, she claimed credit for a charity campaign I'd organized, showing photos from my Instagram as proof of her involvement. When I reported it to HR, she accused me of trying to sabotage her career. They hired her anyway, and now I have to see her every day as she tells coworkers stories about our achievements. Then came the wedding. I had been planning it for 2 years, and the venue was my grandmother's historic estate where she'd married my grandfather in 1952. Everyone in the family knew this, including Melissa. 3 months before my wedding, she announced her engagement. We were happy for her, but 2 days later, she visited my sick grandmother. She spent 2 hours there, alone, and somehow convinced Grandma that I had changed my mind about the venue. She told her that I had found somewhere more modern and was willing to let Melissa use the estate instead. By the time I found out, Grandma had already promised it to her. When I tried to explain, Grandma got confused and upset. The doctor said we shouldn't agitate her or she might pass away early. Melissa had scheduled her wedding for 2 weeks before mine. That's when something inside me snapped. If Melissa wanted my venue so badly, I'd make sure she got exactly what she deserved. I started by befriending her wedding planner, Katie. I told her I was so happy for Melissa and wanted to help make her day special. Katie, overwhelmed with Melissa's demands, welcomed the assistants and gave me all the details. She showed me what type of flowers were being ordered, what songs Melissa had selected for her dance, and even the place where they were going to order food from. I had everything, and now it was time to use it. First, I handled the flowers. Melissa wanted white roses and baby's breath. I suggested to Katie that we source them from this amazing local farm I'd found. What I didn't mention was that the farm was directly downwind from a pig farm. Those flowers would look pristine but carry a very agricultural smell. The catering was my masterpiece. Melissa had selected an expensive menu with filet mignon as the main course. I called the caterer, pretending to be Katie, and confirmed the order with one tiny change. Instead of medium rare, I requested all steaks be cooked well done, not burned, just thoroughly gray. I also mentioned Melissa's new preference for extra salt in everything for her health condition, but the real revenge came with the weather. See, Grandma's estate has this beautiful outdoor pavilion, but it's only beautiful when it's not raining. Melissa, in her rush to steal my date, had chosen a weekend in peak storm season. The morning of her wedding, I watched the weather radar with satisfaction. The storm would hit right at 4 p.m., precisely when the ceremony was scheduled to begin. Melissa had refused to rent a tent. It would ruin the aesthetic, and now it was too late to get one. I arrived early, all smiles, offering to help. I watched Melissa's face as the first drops began to fall. The outdoor setup was ruined within minutes. Guests ran for cover, and the string quartet's instruments had to be rushed inside, but not before the violin got waterlogged. They crammed everyone into the parlor. Guests stood against walls and sat on the floor, where the pig farm flowers started making everyone sneeze. When dinner was served, I watched guest after guest politely throw the steaks in a garbage bin. Melissa's great aunt actually asked for antacids. The cake, transported through the rain, had partially melted, the perfect fondant sliding off one side like it was trying to escape. The best part came during the father-daughter dance. In that packed parlor with everyone pressed against the walls, Melissa's dress got caught on a guest's chair. The sound of ripping silk was audible throughout the room, and Melissa screamed in horror before running away. As she left, she grabbed my arm. I know you did something. I smiled sweetly. Did what? I helped with everything, just like you asked. Besides, you got Grandma's venue, just like you wanted. My wedding, 2 weeks later in a simple church with a reception at a modern hotel, was perfect. Grandma couldn't attend, but she sent a note. I'm sorry about the confusion with the estate, dear. Melissa told me you'd changed your mind, but I should have asked you. I hope your new venue is everything you dreamed of. Melissa doesn't compete with me anymore. In fact, she doesn't talk to me at all.